Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. So in a previous video I spoke about how I think that the new Gen has at least the potential to, if not fulfill the same role as Honda, REGAL Honda, potentially surpass them, okay? And I've been able to get a merc of 1 and we can put this to the test, okay? Now, I've actually done a lot of runs myself on this, and I kind of know how things have been going so far, and I kind of know what they're looking like. But for the purposes of the video, I am going to do a specific set of testing, okay? I'm going to now show you 2 runs, okay? I'm going to do 5 runs. I won't show you the entire 5 runs because the video would just take forever, with this Gen setup, okay? And I'm then going to do another 5 runs using the same setup, only Honda will take the place of Gen, right? Now, I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to be doing this run exactly the same, right? So I am going to do 1 run just now live on camera, and then I'm going to do it again with Honda, okay? So you're going to need to trust me a little bit that I am going to replicate this 5 times off camera, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my top 10 results, okay? So that you guys can see who has performed most consistently, who has given the results that are higher, and what the outcomes are. Now, this is by no means a scientific test, but it is going to give you an idea of what kind of performance you're getting from Gen versus Honda. Now, obviously we need more bosses and stuff like that to see how it goes, but it will give you an idea of where the scores are at and what kind of performance you can expect, okay? Again, it's not scientific, but it is going to be something for you to think about, something for you to potentially use when it comes to decision making, right? Because, let's be honest, out of 10 runs, if there is not much difference between them, when we go through the 10 best runs that I have, you would expect to see a fairly even mix of Gen or Honda. If one is significantly better than the other, you would expect the top 5 to be more weighted towards Honda teams or Gen teams. So this will give us an idea, at least in this very small sample pool, of who's doing what, right? So, just so that you guys know, on this run, you'll see where I start my timing, and it is going to be identical for both characters, and I'll make sure you can see that. Then, once I've done all 5 runs for each of them, we'll come back and I'll look at the results, okay? So, I am going to be looking down because I need to do this manually. Yes, that's right, I'm not an auto scrub. I do these runs manually, despite the rumours you may have heard. But we'll do this first one, then we'll go back in and I'll do it again for Honda. Then I'll stop recording, I'll do the other 5, and then we'll come back in and we'll look at the results, right? So let's start off with our Gen run, okay? So on our Gen run, I'm going to put it up to force speed to make sure that I am ticking down enough time, basically. So I'll put it down to 1 speed now, because at the end of this, when he launches his super combo is when I start my combo. So I'm going now. Okay, I'm going to do 1 combo. Now, when I get to adon here, I'm going to pop the middle EX skill, so I've done that. We're moving on through. The point here is to make sure I am doing the exact same thing, which is what I'm going to be doing. So what you see me doing here, in a minute, I'm going to do the same thing with Honda. So I'm going to pop this. So I've just popped the EX skill. That will hopefully keep us alive. That's it. Now we're going to go until we die, okay? So we're going to go until we die. It doesn't matter. We lost a unit there, which will have ultimately affected my score, right? That wasn't the best run. Simply wasn't the best run. Whether it was RNG, whatever, I died, right? And that would have affected my run. So now I'm going to do the same thing using Honda. So let's do the Honda run. hopefully I don't do anything silly like poor timing or anything like that, because I just want you guys to have a visual that I am doing the same timing and stuff like that for these runs, so that when we do look at the top 10, you know that I've not like weighted it in any way, I've not done anything strange to manipulate the results. Not that there would be any reasonable reason to do that. Moving forward here, we'll do this, pop you, pop the EX move at the exact same point. Okay, so everything right now is exactly the same. It's basically a mirror image run but using different characters. Okay, we survived that, so all I need to do now is just make sure I pop the Virgil EX move at the right point so that no one dies. Pop that now. Actually, do you know what? That is literally identical to what I did with Gen, so I'll finish this run just now, because I actually got that timing wrong there, but it's advantageous because even though I got that timing wrong, it was the same timing as I got for Gen, right? So let's just see. Don't worry about those first two scores, we're disregarding those, okay? So that is essentially the timing that I'm going to use for all of these runs, right? Hopefully I don't mess up the Virgil EX move. When we watch the replays, we will be seeing runs where I've actually done the Virgil EX move right, and all the runs that are on the top 10 will include the Virgil EX move being popped at the right time. So the way that Flame Chun-Li died, that's not going to happen, right? So we're going to go now, we're going to do these runs, and then we're going to look at the top 10 to see, basically, out of the top 10, if we aggregate the average, who's appearing more in the top 10. Is it going to be Gen? Is it going to be Honda? And maybe it'll give us an idea of who's the better performer, because right now I don't know. So here we go, we've got 10 results. Okay, now, the nature of this game, the scores are all over the place, right? It's kind of how you would expect, and again, I would not call this by any stretch of the imagination a scientific test, okay? It's just a sort of a look at how things are, how they go, and what the variables are like and stuff like that, right? What I will say though is, I noticed certain trends, and take from them what you will, right? I think we'll go in reverse order, okay? Because it might shock you. You might think you know what's going to happen here, right? So if we look at the 10th score, you can see here the 10th score is set by a TAOIST Gen team, right? So that's 1.3 billion or 13 billion, whatever it is, right? Next one up from that, another Gen team. Go to the one above that, we've got another Gen team. So quite a lot of Gen teams. Some of these could have been my historic scores as well, right? Finally, we've hit a Honda team, and that's coming in at slot number 4 here, which is around about the 14 range as well. So then we jump to 16, we've got another Honda team. We've got another 16, that one's got a Gen team. So again, very, very similar ranges here. We've got another Gen team. Jump up to 18 at this point, we've got another Gen team. Second from the top, we've got a Gen team. So you can obviously see here, it's looking like there's a bit of a trend. We're starting to see that the higher numbers on these runs so far have come from Gen. But then the top number came from Honda, right? So you probably maybe thought this was leading to Honda being at the Gen being at the top, right? Here's what I noticed. When playing, obviously because I popped the highest score using Honda, right? RNG is such a huge factor with these runs that it's really hard to draw anything from that. But what I will say is, I found like consistently to stay within the same range, Gen was kind of sitting always around the same points. Like I wasn't having these, once I got the timing down, I wasn't having these massive fluctuations where I could go from an 800 million run to the next time getting a 1.6 billion run, right? They were all round about the same range, you know, there was never really anything unexpected. Whereas with Honda, I wasn't hitting the same numbers as Gen consistently, but then randomly just popped a big, huge run from him. And to be honest, that's something that you see quite a lot with Honda when you're doing the boss runs and stuff like that. So I honestly think the only thing that I can really draw from this is I don't actually think that Gen is better, if that makes sense. But I don't know if I would call him worse. Hopefully that makes sense, right? From at least these runs, I need more bosses, I need more time to play with them. I've obviously got this Merc for an entire week, so I'm going to try each of these. I'm going to try Path of Fire when it comes up. But at least on initial reaction, what it seems like is Gen is consistently pulling out the same type of scores, but it seems like there's something about Honda's kit where he might pop off this odd score that's higher. I mean, let's look at these top two scores, right? So let's look at this one here, Flame Adon. Let's look at the replay. We'll do it at full speed. We just want to look at numbers at the top, like how many stacks, how many flame penetrations, stuff like that, right? Because you can't always explain why a run's RNG'd more than the other run, right? You can't always tell. So you'll see here the timing was normal. I didn't do anything differently, right? So here you go. Here's the run. We're starting off really quickly. We're getting up to 36 seconds. We're already at 13 flame stacks, 19 flame stacks, 20 flame stacks. The flame stacks have happened really quickly, right? That's part of the reason, right? So obviously we've got 50 stacks of flame penetration, 20 stacks of burn. That pretty much probably accounts for why that score was so high, right? But let's just check out this one here. You can see, if we look at the run, what was mainly different, what could have potentially made it higher. So we need to wait until we start to run. For some reason, I don't even know why. Oh, this must have been an older run. This must have been an older run. But let's just see. Why was this score not higher? Right, so on that Honda run, I think they had 20 stacks of flame by now. So it's happened later. If those flame stacks had happened earlier, would it have been a higher score? Mind you, you've had those flame stacks for quite a while there. And the score... Oh, I don't know. I'm leaning towards maybe Honda. Because the thing is, to get that from Gen, you need him. You physically need him to be SSS. Because if I go out just now, if I take off that version of Gen, and I put in my A rank Gen. Now this is important because remember, you can do the Honda setup using an A rank Honda. The question is, can Gen actually do anything at A rank? So I'm going to do this one while recording. Hopefully I don't screw up any EX moves or anything like that. But for Gen to really be in the same consideration as Honda, I think he has to perform at A rank, or else the answer is no. Honda's definitely better. So let's just pop this through. Do it again. Pop the EX move. Right, remember the hard part here is going to be surviving. I mean, that's the difficult part. Well, we survived, right? So now I've just got to make sure I pop this next EX move at the right time. As long as I do that, we've got a chance. We've got up to 20 stacks of flame yet. There's I popped the EX move. I popped the EX move at the wrong time. I popped the EX move at the wrong time, so it's impossible to say. But I don't even think we got over 100 million, did we? No, didn't even reach a billion, was it? 100 million, a billion. Try that one more time, right? Just because my timing absolutely sucked there. I'm eating up all of my diamonds doing these stupid things. Try this one more time, see if we can get something decent out of them at A rank, because again, if they are close, but you need to have Gen at triple S for them to be close, then there's no question that Honda is definitely the champ here. Because even though my Honda's not A rank, you can do it, as you guys know, with Honda A rank, so that's enough. I don't need to do it with my Honda A rank to know that. Right, so I need to make sure I pop this goddamn EX move at the right time. I hate the timing of these things. Now, I don't even know how I popped that wrong. I do not know how I popped that wrong. I do not know what I did wrong there. But I'll try one more. I think it's because the way that hit works is it's a line. It hits 1, 2, 3. So when you pop that EX move, it's active. Oh, I don't even know when you do the timing for that to actually get it to work perfectly. It's really annoying. Right, so let's just try this again, right? And see if I can actually get to the end so that A rank again can have a fair shake of the stick. Pop to you, pop to you, pop to you, go again, pop to you, pop to you, we'll pop to you, do it again. Let's see if we can just make it past that last attack. Then at least it is a fair comparison. Pop to you, pop to you, pop to you, and then you, pop again, and again, and again. I don't even know how the flame stacks are looking, if they're good, if they're bad, if they're not. Don't know. Now, I did pop that there. Right, it's fine, at least we're still in it, right? So we'll see how far we can actually take this. See if I can even get close to getting a second rotation in. Did he get off that wall of fire there? I don't know. I got absolutely no idea if he got off that wall of fire. So A rank again, 12. I mean, I think I'm going to say Honda. I think I'm going to say Honda, because the fact that you can do scores like that with an A rank Honda, I mean, maybe you could do it with an A rank Gen. I mean, I'm not claiming to be the best manual player in the world, but all I'm saying is with triple S Gen, I was consistently getting the 16s, the 17s, the 18s. With Honda, I had to get lucky. And hey, the thing is, when you're doing events and stuff like that, you've essentially got unlimited tries. You can keep going and going and going until you do get lucky with Honda. And the thing is, all you need is that one lucky run with Honda. And if that one lucky run's enough for you to get up there, then I think it's easier to say that Honda is maybe the better shout. But one thing that this definitely has shown me is I think that Gen is definitely 100% going to be a useful unit. Even if it's not for your Flame Adon team, he's definitely going to have a place in one of the other teams anyway. And these days, when you've got to really focus on having so many teams that are able to put out damage for you, having another solid buffer healer that is essentially going to slot into your team 2, your team 3, might mean that those teams have now got a chance of kind of getting you up to a point where you can actually challenge a bit more on the leaderboards. So what I would say is, if you are someone who is looking to build that second, third team, then I think Gen is definitely a good shout. Let's see what's this score going to end up like. Can we actually get this off? It'd be quite funny if this one was my best score. Right, so let's see, what did we get off of that one? Wasn't my best score, but it was up there in like the 20 odds again. And that one actually might end up being like my rank 2 or my rank 3 score. Yeah, Honda's just took that other spot away. So, I mean, I think I'm going to give the crown to Honda. I think I'm going to give, I mean, on this boss fight anyway, I think I'm going to give the crown to Honda. When I do more testing, it's probably not going to shock me that Honda is going to consistently do more. Again, I'm not definitively saying that, but I think Gain buffed admirably. I think he does work, but it does seem like potentially Honda is going to be the better shout. But I don't think Gain's miles behind, so it does probably mean that things like running your Dalsim teams and stuff like that are probably going to have a good chance of doing much more damage now than they potentially could have done when you didn't have a character like Gain that you could put onto your team. So hey, it's food for thought. I thought this video might go differently, but it hasn't. So hey, I'll put it out anyway, and you can see the abject failure that I am, because I did honestly think that Gain had the potential to be better than Honda, but let's just put an end to that right now. At most, he can perform around the same level, I think. I don't think he's going to surpass him, though. So, to all you people that said in the comments of the first video, no, Honda, for me, you guys were probably right. Anyway, I'm Hayzink. Long ass video to prove that everyone else was right and I was wrong. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.